Question 1. Which of these statements is correct? B. The divine rights of kings meant that the king was appointed by God. James I and his son Charles I both believed in the divine right of kings, the idea that the king was directly appointed by God to rule. Question 2. Which of these statements is correct? B. During Queen Elizabeth I's reign, English settlers began to colonize the eastern coast of North America. In Elizabeth I's time, English settlers first began to colonize the eastern coast of America. Question 3. Is the statement below true or false? Before 1215 there were no laws to limit the power of the King of England. True. There were few formal limits to the king's power until 1215. In that year, King John was forced by his noblemen to agree to a number of demands. The result was a Charter of Rights called the Magna Carta, which means the Great Charter. The Magna Carta established the idea that even the king was subject to the law. Question 4. Is the statement below true or false? Britain and Germany developed Concorde, a passenger supersonic aircraft. False. Britain and France developed Concorde, the world's only supersonic passenger aircraft. Question 5. Which of these statements is correct? B. Elizabeth I came to the throne when, following a short reign, her half-sister Mary died. Mary was a devout Catholic and persecuted Protestants. For this reason, she became known as Bloody Mary. Mary also died after a short reign, and the next monarch was her half-sister, Elizabeth, the daughter of Henry VIII and Anne Boleyn. Question 6. Which two of the following were members of the Royal Society? C. Sir Edmund Halley, D. Sir Isaac Newton. Charles II was interested in science. During his reign, the Royal Society was formed to promote natural knowledge. This is the oldest surviving scientific society in the world. Among its early members was Sir Edmund Halley, who successfully predicted the return of the comet now called Halley's Comet, and Sir Isaac Newton. Question 7. Is the statement below true or false? The Bill of Rights confirmed the rights of Parliament and limits of the King's power. True. The Bill of Rights, 1689, confirmed the rights of Parliament and the limits of the King's power. Question 8. Is the statement below true or false? The Houses of Parliament are built in the medieval Gothic style of architecture. True. In the 19th century, the medieval Gothic style became popular again. As cities expanded, many great public buildings were built in this style. The Houses of Parliament and St Pancras Station were built at this time, as were the town halls in cities such as Manchester and Sheffield. Question 9. Which of these statements is true? B. Most people live in towns and cities, but much of Britain is still countryside. The UK is located in the northwest of Europe. The longest distance on the mainland is from John O'Groats on the north coast of Scotland to Land's End in the southwest corner of England. It is about 870 miles, approximately 1,400 kilometers. Most people live in towns and cities, but much of Britain is still countryside. Question 10. Which two of the following are major horse racing events in the UK? A. Royal Ascot. B. Scottish Grand National. Famous horse racing events include Royal Ascot, a 5-day race meeting in Berkshire attended by members of the royal family, the Grand National at Aintree near Liverpool, and the Scottish Grand National at Ayr. Question 11. When walking with your dog in a public place, what must you ensure? C. That your dog wears a collar showing the name and address of the owner. Question 12. Is the statement below true or false? Dundee and Aberdeen are cities in Northern Ireland. False. Dundee and Aberdeen are cities of Scotland. Question 13. Is the statement below true or false? William Blake, Lord Byron, and Robert Browning were all famous golfers. False. Poetry was very popular in the 19th century, with poets such as William Blake, John Keats, Lord Byron, Percy Shelley, Alfred Lord Tennyson, and Robert and Elizabeth Browning. Question 14. Is the statement below true or false? The British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC, is financed by selling advertising space during television programmes. False. The money from TV licenses is used to pay for the British Broadcasting Corporation, BBC. Question 15. Which of these statements is correct? A. There is no established church in Wales or Northern Ireland. There is no established church in Wales or Northern Ireland. Question 16. Who wrote the novel Lucky Jim? D. Sir Kingsley Amis. Sir Kingsley Amis, 1922–95, was an English novelist and poet. He wrote more than 20 novels. The most well-known is Lucky Jim. Question 17. Is the statement below true or false? The Houses of Parliament are built in the medieval Gothic style of architecture. True. In the 19th century, the medieval Gothic style became popular again. As cities expanded, many great public buildings were built in this style. The Houses of Parliament and St Pancras Station were built at this time, as were the town halls in cities such as Manchester and Sheffield. Question 18. What system of government does the UK have? D. Parliament democracy. Democracy is a system of government where the whole adult population gets a say. This might be by direct voting or by choosing representatives to make decisions on their behalf. Question 19. Which of these statements is correct? A. The official home of the Prime Minister is 10, Downing Street. The official home of the Prime Minister is 10, Downing Street, in central London, near the Houses of Parliament. Question 20. Which of these statements is correct? B. In Northern Ireland, all those entitled to vote must complete their own registration form. In Northern Ireland, a different system operates. This is called individual registration, and all those entitled to vote must complete their own registration form. Question 21. What are members of the Northern Ireland Parliament known as? B. MLAs. There is a power-sharing agreement which distributes ministerial offices amongst the main parties. The Assembly has 108 elected members, known as MLAs, members of the Legislative Assembly. They are elected with a form of proportional representation. Question 22. Which of these statements is correct? A. You may introduce yourself to your neighbors when you move into a new house or flat, if circumstances permit. When you move into a new house or apartment, try to introduce yourself to the people who live near you. Getting to know your neighbors can help you to become part of the community and make friends. Question 23. How many countries belong to the Commonwealth? D. 54. The Queen is the ceremonial head of the Commonwealth, which currently has 54 member states. See table below. Membership is voluntary. Question 24. Is the statement below true or false? All MPs represent one of the main political parties. False. Each MP represents a parliamentary constituency, which is a small area of the country.